Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Journey Today show. My name is Casey.
And I'm Timmy Bowties.
And I'm Francois, the talking bush. And today, I'll be talking about...
Wait a second. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Are you hard of hearing? I will say it one more time while you clean out your ears. I'm Francois, the talking bush. I come from a long line of talking shrubberies. And I'm here to replace you and make this silly little show, how do you say, better.
Excuse me? What makes you think you could host the Journey Today show?
If a bush can be president, why not a talk show host?
Okay, he's got a point there, but I hate to tell you this, there's only room for 2 hosts, and you're not one of them.
You think so, do you? What makes you think you can get rid of me so easily? Thank you very much. I'll be going now.
You know, I never imagined that I would say this, but that bush had a real prickly attitude.
Yeah, he must have been a thorn bush.
Seriously, can you imagine being replaced by a talking bush?
No way. But it makes me wonder something. Do you think he's related to the bush in our Bible story today?
What? That's crazy. Why would you wonder that?
Well, Francois said he came from a long line of talking shrubberies, and our Bible story has a talking bush in it. Maybe it was Francois's great-great-great-great-great-grandbush.
Grandbush? I don't think that's a thing. Besides, the bush in our Bible story today wasn't a talking bush. It was just a regular bush that God spoke through. It didn't have a mouth.
What about sunglasses?
No, it definitely didn't have sunglasses. But there was something else very interesting about this bush.
Oh yeah? What's that?
You know, I think we should find out by reading the story for ourselves. So let's do this. In just a second, press pause on the video and read the verses on the screen. While you're reading, try to figure out what else was interesting about this bush. When you're finished, press play and we'll see you back here. Whoa, isn't that amazing? The Bible says that the bush was on fire, but it didn't burn up.
Yeah, and God spoke through that bush and told Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell him, "Let my people go from being slaves." What's interesting, though, is that if you keep reading, you see that Moses really struggled to find the courage to do what God told him. In fact, he came up with excuse after excuse as to why he couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, I remember this. He said, "I can't do it. I'm not good at speaking, and I don't know what I would say to Pharaoh."
That's right. So God said to him, "I will be with you, and I'll tell you what to say." Then God performed a series of miracles to show that he had the power to help Moses. But Moses still had a hard time doing it. So God agreed to send Moses' brother, Aaron, to help him.
You know, that kind of makes me wonder something. I wonder what I would do if I were Moses. I mean, would I have the courage to do what God asked me to do in that situation?
That's a great question. And I think it's a question we should all ask ourselves. God might not be asking us to confront Pharaoh, but he still asks us to do some pretty tough things. For example, God says we should tell the truth. But do you have the courage to tell the truth when you know you'll get in trouble?
Yeah, and God says that we should give to the poor. But do you have the courage to give away your money when you barely have enough for yourself?
Or how about this? God says we should share the good news with others, but do you have the courage to tell people about Jesus if you're shy or if people might think you're weird?
That can be a tough one. But here's what's awesome. We don't have to do those things alone. When Moses was afraid to confront Pharaoh, God told him, "I will be with you." And it's the same for us. God is with us all the time, wherever we go. In fact, that's exactly what the Bible tells us. In Joshua 1:9, God says, "Here is what I am commanding you to do. Be strong and brave. Do not be terrified. Do not lose hope. I am the Lord your God. I will be with you wherever you go."
Isn't that so cool? God is with us everywhere. There isn't a moment that goes by that He isn't right there by our side. Sometimes God asks us to do some pretty tough things, but He's always right there with us, helping us to do it. In fact, I've got an idea for a little challenge that shows what I'm talking about. All right, Casey, here's my challenge for you. So I set up this little balance beam, but with a twist. You see, there's 1, 2, and 3 obstacles along the way. And what you're gonna need to do is get past the obstacles all the way to the end of the balance beam to win the challenge.
And how am I supposed to do that?
And that's for you to figure out. All right, Casey, you get 3 tries, and we're gonna start this challenge in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's all right. I get 2 more. Get 2 more. Okay. This is tough. This is tough. All right, last attempt. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Casey, you're doing a great job, but this is a really difficult task. So I tell you what, we're gonna go one more time, but this round, I'm gonna help. So I'll support you as you go around the obstacles, and we'll see if that helps you get to the end. Do you think that'll do the trick?
I don't know, but I couldn't possibly do any worse than the first time around. So let's give it a try.
All right, let's go, Casey. I'm here for you.
All right, here we go. Hey, we made it on the first one.
Look at us go.
We did it! Woo! Hey, way to be! Thank you. That was so much easier with your help.
Casey, that was amazing. I gave you a pretty hard job, didn't I?
Yeah. In fact, it was so hard that there was no way I could do it by myself.
That's right. But it turns out you didn't have to do it by yourself. I was there to help you. And you know, it's kind of like that with God. Sometimes God gives us some pretty hard things to do, but He's right there with us the whole time. If we lean on God, He can help us to get around our fears. And He can help us get around any problem that stands in our way. He can help us get around the feeling that we're not good enough.
That's so cool. And it gives me an idea for a question. Can you think of something big that God might want you to do? How can He help you do it? Press pause.
And discuss. Whenever God asks us to do something, we can have courage because He's always right there to help us along the way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's something Moses forgot. But we don't have to make the same mistake. If God is asking you to do something that's kind of hard for you, stop and talk to Him about it. He can give you the courage.
That's right, Casey. And I think that brings us to the end of another episode.
This episode is over when I say it is. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Leaf.
Leaf who?
Leave me alone. I could host this show without you. Okay. Oh no, that brings us to the end of the episode. Goodbye, everybody.
My stomach was really growling. I don't know if anyone else heard that.